painting where it's pushing out what does not serve in her own psychology, breaking free of breaking free of any confines of the mind. Birth.
Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoatsecrets. Hi, I am Kristen, and I'm a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of the Libra full moon eclipse and its energy and how it affects your Capricorn placements. And in the future, if you would like to follow along with the moon transits and pretty much get ahead of things when it comes to these videos, you can find these calendars made specifically by me for the SeaGoat Collective. And they have all the information that you need to follow along and be aware of your house placements. If at any point during this video you feel like you resonate with me and you would like to become a client and join the client circle, you can do so by following this link here, and it can also be found in the bio. Last but not least, you guys know I'm a global citizen and I love connecting with all of you on a worldly and global level. So drop where you're listening from in the comments. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. Okay, so Capricorn, it is the huge Libra full moon eclipse, and I know it is a partial eclipse, but the energy is quite intense, mainly because it's ending big chapters for you. My Capricorn placements have been feeling it. The entire collective has been feeling it. It is big endings for everyone. And this moon, we are already in the energy of it, and it's pushing us. It's going to be quite intense and very thick for the next 2 weeks, and then we're going right into a pretty powerful solar eclipse in April. So a lot of change, a lot of transformation, and I want you to look at this eclipse as a way to really address all the endings that you need to put into your life and to embrace them and to not resist them. Most of this is happening on a subconscious level, so a lot of you guys are going through thoughts about the past. It's kind of feeling a little bit like the way it did in January, at the end of January for the Leo full moon. A lot of those shadows are coming up to find you, but you're on the other side of them. You're even deeper than you were before. A lot of subconscious things have been coming up to find you. And yes, it is around your 10th house, but because you guys are Capricorn, ultimately your 10th house takes on a whole new energy for you than it would for others. You're thinking about things that go beyond just 10th house matters, like your career or different times when you've dealt with difficult things in your career life or your status in the world, but times when you've been, gaslighted, when your reputation was at stake, the way in which your family of origin created certain dynamics for you that did not work for who it is that you wanted to be in the world. Your relationships, your pivotal, serious relationships, a lot of your focus is on the long-term relationships for those of you guys going through divorces or separations or went through that recently. Or if you were in long-term relationships, a lot of that stuff is coming up. But like I said, mainly it's these subconscious memories of, again, reputation, your status, and when they were challenged in some way, shape, or form. And also going back to things in your career. So you're very clear on who it is that you want to be now, and you're definitely clear on the things that have happened in the past and how you do not want to repeat the past in any way. But it's not necessarily to say that this is easy. It's, I don't think when you're talking about eclipses in general, the energy is not necessarily easy. A lot of it is stuff that's on your mind, although your energy has been getting lighter ever since we moved into Aries season and the spring equinox found us. You guys have been feeling great. You've been feeling fresh, but kind of like I mentioned in the monthly video, the third week would be this light, vital, or I guess this fresh renewal and vitality, but then the fourth week would be kind of this pushback. And it's not to say it's meant to pull you all the way down and to hurt you in any kind of way. It's just, think of the way that you felt in the third week, this vibrant, fresh energy, as the new life that you're moving into after you pivot through these great endings. So the past is here to find you, and anything that you're ending in the current moment is to put an end to the past. And that's what your focus is. And that's going to lead you into the summer where you're still closing out old chapters, closing doors. The next 6 months for you, especially after this transit. Obviously, this 2-week window is going to be the most intense, right? And it's important to write things down. And like I said, do not run from the dark nights. Do not run from these things that are running through your mind, from these great endings that you need to do. Do not allow relationships that have been lingering to stay. Close the door. Have the courage to end. And it's going to continue for the next 6 months, where you're going to get the returns on those investments, where the courage to put an end to things will bring about the new beginnings that you desire the most, the kind of manifestations that you're going to put out during the Aries transit in April. So it's good, you know, and especially when Mercury retrograde finds us in April, you'll be happy that you pulled the trigger on a lot of things that needed it. So anyway, because things will slow down. So another thing as well, like I was saying, so we've got a big focus on your career during this eclipse. Many of you might be walking away from jobs, walking away from avenues of how you make your money. You're really focused on how to prioritize making your money in a way that feels the best to you. You've gone through a lot of change and transformation when it comes to your career, and you no longer desire to overwork yourself or to bind yourself. Your status, your idea of status has changed. And so you don't necessarily want all of the same accolades that you used to in the past. So you're very focused on how to simplify your career in a way that is very easy for you, having less on your plate and making sure that you're aligned with a career that actually works for your life path and how it is that you really feel, and who it is that you really want to be. You no longer want to pile things on that don't work in your favor. And that's why a lot of you are desiring to leave where it is that you are in terms of your workplace environment. If you have multiple jobs, you're kind of wanting to pull back. You're thinking about different streams of income, especially for those of you who have prominent Cancer placements, looking into investments and different things that you can do to make it so that your actual career is something that's easier for you to take hold of. And so you're ending a lot of facets. For those of you who own businesses, you could be kind of lessening the load, so getting rid of certain services that are too difficult for you to manage, or adding other services, or hiring new people to make it easier for you, making sure you're doing things that are better in terms of functioning in a more simplistic manner. And that's some of the change that you're doing when it comes to your work. Your image in the world is changing, so you're putting a big death to your old identity, and that is big for you because that's again with your subconscious mind running through the past. You're using these old traumas as a way to say no more, never again, and you're kind of standing very strong with your feet planted on the ground in terms of who it is that you actually want to be, and putting in as much of the energy and effort into that. You're still navigating rage for some of you. That's why I have that video there in terms of rage navigation, because of the emotions and being prepared for that during Aries season, because here we are and you've got all this freshness and you've got all this energy, but your anger is something that you could run into because it's bouncing back and forth between sadness and anger because of the ways. In Pisces season it was because of the emotions. In Aries season it's because of the change, the fact that you have all of the fight to put in the change that you want. And the thing about Aries and why anger tends to find Aries in the first place is because at the core of every Aries is a wounded Libra. And what does that mean? That means a person that once compromised themselves for the greater good, someone that was so addicted to their relationships or the people and things around them that they would sacrifice themselves to keep the peace, someone who could be quite muted and quite silent, and it took a lot of energy for them to go out on their own, for them to become the kind of person that they are, the individual, you know, the person that knows how to self-prioritize. And a part of the reason why, like I said, is because at their core is Libra energy, wounded Libra energy. So this kind of energy, you have this me first, I will not compromise, I will not do what I did before. And for those of you who have prominent Aries placements, the emotions are high, and it's good because you can use this, like I said, to channel that energy. That's why I was talking about channeling rage, to make sure that you did what it is that you needed to do to keep yourself clear-minded and focused on how to get the results that you desire the most, and how not to get lost in the emotions of the betrayals of the past, or how you can now your eyes are open to certain things, and you're aware of things that you tolerated before that you will not tolerate now, and how the new you is angry at the way the old you operated. It's important to channel that energy and don't get lost in the depths of the emotions of it, and where anger can just cause you to be combustible, okay, especially during Mercury retrograde. But these things are running through your mind, as I said, as we're still sitting here in March. And it's good because the shadow that's going to find you is going to be here before we transition into the retrograde that happens April 1st. So allow these emotions, allow them to move through you. Do not be afraid of them, because they are working in your favor. Anything you put a close to now, anything you open your eyes to and address and walk right into, you're going to thank yourself about it later. All right? So just rip the Band-Aid off and swim, basically. Another thing as well is where you kind of switch up things when it comes to your career and how you're making your money. New avenues are opening up for you. So where you put an end to certain goal points or certain dynamics when it came to your career, all of a sudden this serendipitous return can find you. So you said no to one service, or you stopped one service and then you focused on another, and all of a sudden it gets this great return on investment. For those of you who are looking for positions, you end that job that you know no longer serves you and you move to a new one, and all of a sudden you're getting all of the money that you deserve, you're getting what it is that you're worth, you're getting appreciated for who it is that you are. And this all has to do with the beauties of the karma, because a lot of what it is that you guys have dealt with has been a part of your karmic 15-year transit. So as the karma is ending, now you are in a place where you can get what it is that you actually deserve, because your worth has increased. Remember how we keep talking about worth increase, and why wealth is a big conversation for you guys during the next 20 years, because wealth is your destiny with the shift happening in Pluto. And these are some of the beginning moments of you understanding that with wealth increase, or sorry, with worth increase comes wealth increase. And with the end of this karma happening with the eclipse, for you it's a big ending to that transit, that 15-year transit in general, okay? And you finally having this new beginning, welcoming the new life. And so it's a really big deal for you guys in specific. Of course, like I keep saying, it's all of the collective. And not all of you guys are Capricorns in your top 3. So it affects all of the collective. Everyone is being putting an end to the Capricorn Pluto experience that they had in moving into new karma, especially because Capricorn Pluto is karmic because it's Capricorn, and Capricorn in Aquarius is also karmic. So we're all here navigating, but of course for the Capricorn placements it's more intense than it is for others. So another thing as well is you're letting go of old financial obligations. So you could be closing debts, putting an end to things that you once invested in. So this could be as small as like subscriptions, you know, like realizing that you don't actually need subscriptions to all the different networks that you have them to, and kind of narrowing things down, simplifying things. This is another thing in terms of you guys understanding wealth of the new age, simplification, minimalism, kind of pulling back in order to feel like you have more. That's a big thing that you're going through. And then another aspect is I'll go into your relationships, and then I'll finish off with what's going on with your home environment. So your relationships are a big thing for the 10th house for you guys, and we saw that happening last October, especially because Libra is your 10th house, and Libra is a sign or an element that's about relationships in specific. So for you, your 10th house is big in terms of the way you love, which is a part of the reason why you guys love long-term relationships, why you tend to go toward the idea of marriage, or the partner that stays permanently, especially for you Capricorn moons. You tend to dream of a love that you can build with and grow with. especially, and also the Venuses, you know, the kind of person that you can build an empire with, different things like that. And that's because Libra finds itself in Capricorn's 10th house. So many of you can be going through divorces or taking on a new identity as the independent. Others of you can move into the opposite, where now you're going from the independent to being the married person, or the person who's taking on this new union. Your title is changing. For those of you who are singles, you're finally opening up to a space where that long-term relationship that you maybe have desired or have been thinking about can find its way to you during the end of March. And I think I mentioned that during the love reading. And either it's the individual themselves, or it's you finally being in a place where you can let that energy in and welcome a new April, in terms of finally being able to align with the proper partnerships that work in your favor. But it's all about title changing, being willing to shift your image in the world, your status in the world. So big shifts in karma when it comes to your relationships. And for many of you who have done a lot of relationship healing, putting to bed whatever karma you were dealing with during the 15-year transit, for many of you it was around love and relationships. Finally putting an end to that, able to open up to new dynamics that are healthier, that are more in alignment with who it is that you want to be, finding people or partners that actually merge with your spiritual path or your moral path, different things like that, no longer in these misaligned connections. So very big, very, I would say triumphant in terms of finally putting to bed the karma, you know, the ongoing difficulties from before. So from there, I'm going to go into, or I'm going to finish off with home and family, because of the Chiron that we've been talking about in Aries, and being in Aries season and this eclipse. So when it comes to home and family, really down to what home means to you at your very core, right? We're finally seeing a shift when it comes to this energy, because this started in 2019, and this entire dynamic ends in January 2025. But we're now seeing a new beginning in this energy. And it's not about the outside, and you know, because when you think home and family, you're thinking about things outside of yourself, but really it starts in your core. Feeling like you did not have home within your core, feeling like you didn't really know who you were, or where you belonged, or where you were rested. Finally, you're going to be able to see a new beginning in this, especially in April, but it comes after you put a close to what felt unfamiliar. Ending the times of your life where you did not feel welcomed by maybe your family of origin, your biological family, your biological home, neighborhood, home country, home city, town, etc. Whatever it is that felt like it challenged this idea for you in terms of your comfort level, in terms of what felt like home to you, is being able to be healed and completed because of the energy that you've put into building your self-worth. A part of the imbalance was the lack of self-worth that you had, made it so that you would put yourself in scenarios that you didn't entirely feel comfortable with, and it kind of left you with this lostness in terms of trying to navigate where you actually belonged. So as those things come to a close, you can find yourself moving, investing in real estate that actually works in your favor. Again, getting into the kind of partnerships and the kind of relationships with a truly aligned partner, a divine partner that feels like you can build a proper home with. Being able to heal some of the imbalances going on with your relationships with your children. Again, ending marriages, ending long-term relationships in order to create a better and newer home that is more authentic to who it is that you are. But again, it's all about ending the karma tied to this feeling that you do not belong somewhere, or that this wound that you have been carrying, that for many of you came from childhood, is something that you can finally breathe out, which feels very, very good. And I think that's probably one of the best features of this moon, is just the end of the karma, the end of the karmic cycles, and the ability to welcome the new. You know, and it's not to say like it's going to be easy. Like I said, it's a lot of emotional stuff, it's a lot of subconscious stuff, and then in terms of the external, it's not easy to move, it's not easy to change, to split up families or merge families, get in new relationships when you've been wounded in the past. So it's walking yourself into it with grace and understanding that the past is the past and it's okay to look at it in order to learn from it, in order to finally put it to bed so that you can create the kind of new beginning that aligns brilliantly with your authenticity and your newfound self-worth and self-love, which is even better. So yeah, so that is your astrology. We are going to get into the reading now.
We're looking at, okay, let's look at the shadow. It's interesting because everything else around it feels very simple. There is so much beauty here, so much simplicity here. Especially when we're looking at the subject, I mean, hell, that's amazing. We're in the Queen of Pentacles, star energy, the Page of Pentacles, which is a little scrappy, but in this case, it might be simply about communication and clarification of the mind. Nothing about this feels heavy in these, and where you heal and how you grow and what we're actually talking about here. We're talking about happiness with each other, equal chemistry. I mean, what is already with you after the storm? This is beautiful. So, the shadow is in the center because we move through the shadow and then we move out into a lighter energy, into a lighter area. Makes sense to me now. So in your shadow, we've got, who is this? This may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've got the 6 of Swords in reverse, 4 of Swords, we've got the 8 of Cups, and we have the World. So first things first, in your shadow, you're afraid that you cannot heal. You're afraid that you cannot walk away. You're afraid that you cannot align to your future. And that's what's running through the back of your mind, thinking that progress will not find you and you cannot sail away and you cannot walk away as well, because we've got the 6 of Swords, the 2 cards that talk about, 3 of them actually, the 3 cards that talk about walking away, the ending cycles. The World, the 6 of Swords, the 8 of Cups, all 3 of those represent endings. They represent walking away, turning your back to the something, turning your back to the past, ending the past. And yet and still, these are all in your shadow. And then the 4 of Swords is all about healing. But it's also the kind of healing that is peace and relaxation, progress through peace in that sense, being able to just be at one with yourself. It's interesting because this is what's sitting in your subconscious in terms of your fears. You're afraid that you cannot end. You're afraid that you cannot walk away. You're afraid that you cannot have peace. And it's loud. It's very simple. It's loud. It's in your face. Is this going to end? Is this going to be over? Can I actually walk away from this? Is this ever going to be completed? That's what's running through you. In your subject, it's so interesting because here we have I don't even know where to begin. In your spiritual advice, we have after the storm, and after the storm is all about walking away. It's all about understanding that, okay, all of this chaos or all of these things have happened, and you're starting at one. You're in the new beginning now. The past is the past. The new beginning is here. What is already with you? So not only is the past in the past and you're actually being able to start new so you can step out of your fears, you have everything that you need. There isn't anything else that you need to do or gain or search for or learn or heal through, or you've turned over all of the stones. You uncovered all of the secrets already. You have everything that you need. You're in your new beginning. It's a matter of understanding that. When we look at what's going on, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. For you, that's amazing. With your self-worth, your self-value, nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, loving yourself with the Star. The Star is all about hope and faith and great healing and progression, movement forward. We've got happiness, playfulness, enjoying each other with insane chemistry. And then that's coming in with this, like I always say, the scrappy Page of Swords. But also this feels a lot like clarity, progression, communication, conversation. There's nothing for you to worry about here. This is beautiful. And it's so interesting because here we are with this eclipse, and obviously the eclipse is a big deal, and it is about big endings. But the one thing you are afraid of is that you cannot end, is that it's not ended. It will not end, and you're not walking away, and this isn't the end of the cycle, and you're stuck here, and you'll always be stuck here, like as if you're permanently attached to the past, permanently attached to what has taken place. But then obviously it's contradicting what's actually happening, because what's in front of you is the exact opposite of that. What's in front of you is stability and security, and from not just the outside but also the inside. The Queen of Pentacles for you is all about wealth from the internal, also on the external. There's a lot of peace around you. There's a lot of progress. There's a lot of clarity. There's a lot of abundance within you and around you. Again, more confirmation on it being around you in terms of other people and your connections with other people and aligning with other people. And the star, I mean, you can't get any better in the combination of the Queen of Pentacles with the star. Some of you could be in the spotlight. Some of you can be, again, connecting with the kind of relationships that feel very healing, that feel like water being poured onto you. There is so much beauty around you. There is so much faith and hope and happiness, and all of these great things are taking place, and yet and still you're terrified. You're absolutely terrified, and it's not a joking matter, because obviously you're there for a reason. I'm just simply laughing out of relief, if you get what I mean. Let's go to Yogini. Changes in your life, including closed doors or missed opportunities, are not going to derail your fulfillment. They're not going to derail your fulfillment. Yes, you've closed the door. Yes, you've gone through these things. Yes, the past was the way that it was. Yes, you had to walk away. Yes, we are ending, but you are still being fulfilled. You just have to start new and understand that you have everything that you need. Realignments are happening based on divine timing, divine wisdom and timing. You're being diverted from unnecessary obstacles and suffering. You have been diverted from unnecessary obstacles and suffering. And that's why you are in this new beginning where it is that you are. And the past is over, and the past is in the past, and you have to leave it there, because these things happened so you can be diverted, so you can be in this new beginning, so you can be here with this happiness and this joy and this contentment and this peace and this self-nurturing and this wealth from the internal to the external, this great healing, this hope, this happiness, this image as well. Like I said, many of you could be in the spotlight or just being given attention and poured onto like healing water. All of this was gifted to you. And it has been gifted to you because of the things that have put you in a space where you're afraid that you cannot heal from or walk away from. Trust in how your life path is unfolding. Stay true to your authentic healing journey, because it is working. Whether you realize it or not, significant inner healing is taking place. Some of you don't want to walk away, whereas others of you feel scared that you can't completely, that the past won't stay there. But some of you are afraid of leaving the past where it is. Then we have bath call, which is a fire element for me, and eschew complicated explanations as you seek the simplicity of your deepest truth of your heart. Gently but firmly cast aside that which does not resonate as being true for your heart. Focus upon and speak from a higher spiritual perspective. All prayers are answered at the perfect time and in the perfect way. You have a powerful voice which can foster healing and wisdom. So again, we go back to this idea of many of you being in some kind of spotlight position where you're connecting with other people based on this Queen of Pentacles energy, based on your self-worth, based on this nurturing energy that you have to give. The way your inner wealth is affecting other people's wealth, where they're aligning with their own inner wealth because of you. And if we go back into this space again, when it comes to you healing, it's like separating from all that does not serve you anymore. What the ideas that don't serve you. A lot of this is very post-traumatic stress, you know, a lot of trauma, a lot of subconscious fears about what's ending and what isn't ending. And like I said, some of you are just holding on too tightly and afraid to let go. So you've got every single card in the alignment of being able to walk away, and this is the thing that you're the most afraid of. But you are in a new reality. You need to separate from what no longer serves you, because those closed doors are actually your fulfillment taking place right in front of you. These doors slamming are actually exactly what it is that you need and have always needed. Let them go. And for those of you who it's a subconscious thing, as in you're afraid that you cannot let go, or you're afraid that the past is not in the past, or the past is not going to leave you, it's understanding that the past is already gone. And it was just your realignment. And this joyous, happy, beautiful energy that you're in right now, this is very complex because we're throughout this energy here, throughout this eclipse transit over these next couple of weeks, you're going to be feeling very, very good. And you're going to be talking about it, you're going to be connecting about it, and many of you are going to meet people. It's going to, your social environments are going to feel very healing and very nurturing for you. Your social connections are going to feel very, very, very good. And there's a lot of abundance that's going to move through you through these social connections and these social dynamics. And it is going to realign you with understanding that your life is new and you are, in fact, in a new beginning. And again, your self-worth is a big conversation because you understand that you have everything that you need and you are everything that you ever wanted to be, that you are deserving of what it is that you want. You have it inside of you, which is very powerful. And so this energy is going to be here, but it's also going to be accompanied with these fears and these feelings about the past. So it's interesting. It's like a direct correlation between. That's why it showed up in the center. Yeah, because it's almost like a void. Like sucking the energy into itself. Here's all this light. Here's new beginnings, love, clarity, faith, progress, support, and yet and still you're kind of sucking yourself back into, yeah, but what if I can't let go? I don't know if I want to let go. Can I really walk away? Can I really let this go? Can I really let this person go? Can I really have this new beginning? Is this a new beginning? Can I really trust this? And it's kind of this back and forth, like falling into the vortex and pushing yourself out, and falling into the vortex and pushing yourself out. And so it's interesting how all of it comes together in terms of this alignment. But you need to get out of your own head. The thing about this card that I love so much is it's a fire card for me, as I said, and it's all about separating yourself from ideas and concepts, explanations, anything that overcomplicates things that do not actually work in your favor or serve you. But in terms of fire, you see what's going on with her mind and her head. It's literally the kind of painting where it's pushing out what does not serve in her own psychology, breaking free of any confines of the mind. Birth through fire. I've been saying birth through fire a lot lately, and it's probably because of the Aries energy and just what's going on in terms of this final countdown of Aries Chiron for the remainder of the year. So many things feel like birth through fire, especially for you guys having Aries in your 4th house, like I've mentioned. And this, like, creating this new life for yourself is a stable new life because it is in the 4th house. So it's going to show up around you. It's going to show up in and around you in terms of your connections, who you're in relationships with, your soul tribe energy. The remainder of the year is very soul tribey for you guys because of that Aries push in that sense. And it's like the new tangible beginning that begins in the spirit but then expands far beyond that in a multitude of manners, in a multitude of ways. And it's like you have to get yourself out of this vortex because it's fear. It's like, can I heal? Can I walk away? Is this actually over? Can I trust this? Everything on the outside feels so good, but can I actually trust it? The past is really wounding me. I'm upset that happened. I'm upset that door closed. I'm upset that this relationship ended. I'm upset that I left this job. I'm upset about all these things. But it's a matter of understanding those doors closed for your benefit. And the new that's in front of you is exactly what it is that you need and exactly what it is that you want and truly have desired. But you have to understand that within your own self. You have to break free of the confines of your own mind and the blockages that are in your own head. I would definitely say at this point, this is about you. Some of you may be dealing with situations where people are trying to hold you back, but honestly, most of this feels like it's an internal dance. It's a you to you experience of you holding yourself back and you feeling this woundedness or this fear inside your own mind and how it's blocking your own clarity. It's like you step out and you push back. You meet the new and then you pull yourself back. You're feeling really great, you're feeling really good, and then you pull yourself back. This new stream opens up and then you look back. It's like it's this interesting back and forth. It makes perfect sense, right? The vortex of insecurity and especially if you've been doing something or feeling something for so long, because like I was saying in the astrology, the end of a 15-year transit for many of you, the end of a lifetime of karma for many of you. It's not even just the 15-year transit, because the transit, depending on your age bracket, was simply a pressurized experience of your own childhood or things that happened prior to that. And that karma was there to finally help you put it to bed for rest. Put it to bed for good. I don't know why I said for rest. And so with that being the case, it's a huge karmic cycles ending, and can you let go? Ultimately, everything in front of you is letting you know that letting go is exactly the healing that you need, and you're finally looking at the physical manifestation of what letting go has brought to your life, which is really good. Can bring to your life, has brought to your life. You're actually touching it, feeling it, smelling it, tasting it, but you yourself are now in this place where it's like this back and forth subconscious push forward, push back, push forward, push back. So it's interesting how it all plays out and comes together. This is still very beautiful to me, even the shadow, because this is amazing. I'm sorry for all the noise, but yeah. Okay, Capricorn. I'll leave this here. You guys tell me your thoughts in the comments, okay? I love you. Ciao.